welcome to this Glow Your Own session, where we're going to be going beyond the standard Arduino, hacking our coding and hacking our LED breadboards to do something really interactive. We've got Sophie, Emily, CJ, Bernie, and Sarah, and me helping, and we can just move straight on. And so CJ is going to take you through the steps, and Sarah will be able to help again, and Emily's got some ready-made to show you. So CJ, over to you.
Thank you. Hello everybody again. I hope you're enjoying the nice sunny weather and your half term. Okay, so if we get our equipment together, I'll go through the list just to check we've all got it. So first of all, your Arduino and USB cable. So the Arduino board and your USB cable. Okay, and then our breadboard. If anyone's not got anything when I go through the list, just pop it in the chat and we'll see what we can do there. 2 LEDs for the purpose of this session. We'll use 2 to begin with now. Then we've got just a handful of the jumper wires, and if you can get about 5 of the black wires ready, and then 6 wires in a color of your choice. Okay, so for our resistors, if we get one 1K ohm resistor, 1000 ohm, and then 3 220 ohms. So that's 1K ohm and 3 220 ohms. There should be a label on your packets. Then we need 2 crocodile clips. These, you can see it. These 2 of these. Some conductive tape. And then there is also some cables that have they're long ones, I think, were sent in the post, that are quite bendy, I think. If you we can either use the jumper wires for this bit, or we can use this wire. So to be a bit more different, perhaps if you do want to use this wire, if you get a piece of the wire and cut 2 strips with some scissors or pliers if you have them, but it's easy, it's possible to do it with scissors, 5 centimeters long. It doesn't have to be exact, but if you've got a ruler there, and you can measure 2 strips 5 centimeters long. So it should look like this. We've got that. And for those who have done that section, if you get your scissors and safely at either end of those 5 centimeter strips, or however big you've cut it, if you shave, exactly, thanks Emily, if you take the end of the scissors and gently pull away a bit of the plastic that's surrounding the wire and shave it off at either end, just a small amount, doesn't have to be a lot, but enough to be able to poke it into the breadboard. Emily, if you could do a close-up, I've got one here as well, but it could be this amount, yeah, or as small as Emily's, no smaller than Emily's, I'd say. And get the scissors, and you're just sort of shaving it off the scissors like this, like carving, it takes away the plastic. And if you do that to both pieces, got like Emily, it's fine. It's great for me. Hopefully for that. If people haven't got the scissors nearby to hand, you can use the jumper wires, but this is another way, an alternative way that we can do this hack section. And it gets us used to using different ways and different materials. Is it the wire with the black bit at the end or not? It's not got, so when you say the black bit, do you mean the plastic black points? It's you mean those what Emily is showing now? Yes, although you can use those, you can totally use those. It's just this was an alternative to use because these wires stick up quite nicely in the board rather than flop over, but it's completely fine to use the jumper wires for the purpose of this. It's just to try to get us to use different materials for different purposes, but totally cool to use the jumper wire to get the hack going for sure. Two Rudra, we cut two 5 centimeters or a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, 2 pieces, and then shave off the ends. Thanks. That's that. If you've got a glove, get your glove ready, or in case you haven't got a glove, then use just a bit of paper, a bit of scrap paper. And then A4 piece of paper as well, and some colored pens. Okay, so we're going to briefly go through the setup for the LEDs. If you've already got the LEDs in there, just have a listen and just check all the things are in the right places. If not, you can follow this instructions to restart it again. So if you get one LED of any color and place the long end into A28 and the shorter end into A29. So the LED longer end in A28 and the shorter end in A29. And then if you get the 220 ohm resistor and place that into B28 and C28. I'll show you as well. One of these, this is a jumper wire. Yes, Dave, it's the same circuit, but we're doing a hack instead of using the little button. So if you have got the thing set up already, at least the LEDs, that's what we're using, but you can remove the button that we had last time because we're starting a new section. We're using a hack button instead of using the conductive tape. Cool. Okay, so if we've got the 220 ohm resistor and put it into B28 and C28 as well as the LED. So now if we get a coloured wire of your choice and put one end into E28 and the other end into pin 10 on your Arduino board. And then if we grab our black ground wire and put one end into C29 and then the other end into the right blue minus side of the breadboard that's closest to row 29 and the J side. Emily, could you hold up your breadboard when you have a moment, please? Just to. I got it there. Yeah.
I'll unmute myself as well, so it maybe looks towards me. So this is the complete bit.
If on the so one end is going into C29, and then the other end is onto the J side of the breadboard. In yeah. One in C29 and the right blue minus side in the J side. That, yeah, exactly. Thank you. And then we're going to take another black ground wire and, and place one end into the same side that we've just been on, the J side. The right blue minus side, and then we put one into the GND pin on the Arduino board. Okay, that's our first LED setup. So now place one more LED into the breadboard, putting the long end into A17 and the shorter end into A19. And then if you get your second 220 ohm resistor, and put one end into B17 and the other end into C17. That's B17 and C17. And then if you grab a colored wire of your choice again, so another jumper wire like this, and put one end into E17 and the other end is going into pin 11 on the Arduino board. Okay, and finally, to finish our setup of the LEDs, we're going to get one ground wire again. So get a black wire and put one end into C19. And that's, yeah, and the other end is going onto the blue minus strip on the right, on the side that is closest to J, near row 19. So one end is going into C19 on the breadboard, and then the other side is going into the blue minus strip on the right-hand side, like Emily and Bernie are showing. You can see that's closest to J. If any questions or problems, pop them into the chat and we'll keep checking on there. So that's our two LEDs are set up. Hopefully all correct. If it's okay, we can come back to any troubleshooting later, but hopefully we've got them set up and they look similar to what Bernie is showing and what Emily is showing. Okay, so now for our hack bit. So this is the part where instead of the little button that we used last time, we're replacing that with the conductive tape, and that's this is with the view of future endeavors if you want to experiment with this idea of like textile touch. So this conductive material is to be attached to, can be attached to fabric, to clothing, and then when it has contact with each other and they've both got this conductive material, it causes a trigger, and in this case we're going to light up the LEDs. So So we need for this, we need to get our 1K, our 1000 ohm resistor. And we place one end into J8. And the other end into J5. That's J8 and J5. Okay, so now for our, if we've got our cut pieces of wire, if not, totally fine to use the colored jumper wires. So we're going to take one of these or one of the cut bits of wire that you cut earlier, and we're going to put one end into I5. And then now we get one of our snappy crocodiles, and if we press and we connect the other end, so let me go back a moment. So we've got one end into I5 with the little bits of wire, and we grab our crocodile clip and we attach one end of the crocodile clip to the other end of that wire that's been put into the breadboard, so like this. So the metal from the crocodile clip has to touch the metal on the bit of wire. Exactly. And you've got the wire sticking in like that in Bernie's, or if the jumper wires, it's just the end, the metal needs to connect. Okay, so that's that bit set up. So the other end of the crocodile clip, we need to get a bit of our conductive tape. So we just rip a small amount of conductive tape, and if you have got a glove, get your glove ready. If not, no worries, just get a piece of paper. And so we need to attach the other end of that crocodile clip that we've just used, and we're going to place the mouth of the crocodile on that conductive tape. That's this. Make sure this is the other end. So one end is connected to the wire, and then the other end of that crocodile clip, exactly like Bernie's showing. Thank you. And this can either be stuck to our glove, or it can be stuck to a piece of little bit of scrap paper, or A4 paper, whatever. Either one is fine. And if you do the paper bit now, you can do the glove bit at home. It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so next up, we're going to take a coloured jumper wire. So one of these again, with the black bits on the end, and place one end into I8. And now we're going to connect the other end up to our power, our 5 volts. And that's the 5V pin on the Arduino board. So this is to give us optimum power running through the circuit. And Bernie is just showing now. So it says 5, and then it's got a V next to it on the Arduino board. Yeah, one end has to go in there, and the other end is going into I8 on the breadboard. Okay, moving forward. So now we get one coloured jumper wire again, and we're going to put one end into H5, H for hat, and the other end into pin 4 on the digital side of the Arduino board. So on the Arduino board, it should say digital on one side and analog, or it just says AO on the others. But on the digital side, connect the other end into pin 4. And yeah, exactly, Bernie, showing there, exactly, that's the digital side. I'm just checking the chat, see everyone's okay. Yeah, Okay, so now we've got to get another one of our jumper wires or the other piece of stripped wire that we cut. And we're going to place one end into I on the breadboard, I23. And then we're going to take our second crocodile clip. I'm going to clip one of the crocodile mouths onto the end of that other bit of wire that we've just put into I23. So now we're almost ready for almost a complete circuit. So now the other end of this crocodile clip, there should be one mouth free at the other end. Take our another bit of conductive tape and do the same again. So we clip the crocodile mouth to the conductive tape. And we can either stick this to another piece of, stick this to another piece of paper if you have already the first time used a glove or a piece of paper. In this case, we're sticking it to the A4 piece of paper. So some of it will be on the crocodile clip and the rest will be stuck to the paper. Hopefully everybody's okay with that so far. Bernie, could I get a little, or Emily, a little show of your this conductive tape stuck to the card? I know, yeah, exactly, perfect. So same again like that, brill. Okay, so now if you take a black jumper wire, so we're going to use a black ground wire, and we're going to place one end into H23 and the other end is going to go into the blue minus strip again, as we have done, and closest to J, so closest to the J side of the breadboard. So one end into H23 and the other end into the blue minus strip that's closest to J on the breadboard. And then finally, to complete the circuit, once and for all, we're going to get our final jumper wire, our final black jumper wire, it's the ground wire, and place one anywhere on that same side what we've just been working on, so the closest to J, anywhere on that, put one end in, and then the other end is going to go into the GND pin on the Arduino board. So our final ground pin on the Arduino board.
We have done. So Stuart said, haven't we already linked to ground? And I think possibly we have. So in the recap of the last session, step 6, I think we did the very bottom of the blue minus side nearest to the J column.
Ah, yes, we've done a repeat.
So yeah, that final one. Yeah,
so that's just doubling it up. Yeah, sorry. Thanks for noticing that. I've repeated myself there. Surplus to requirement, I think. So we should have our full circuit now. Okay, so has everybody got the document that was sent out? I think it was yesterday. It's got the list of things, the instructions, and then it's got some code at the bottom after the instructions. Yeah, Lewis, if anybody hasn't, just pop it into the chat and be able to send that to you, maybe through that GitHub link. If you have, you can open that up, that document, and we're going to copy and paste how many LEDs. So we've just, in this example, we've just done 2 LEDs, but you can do as many as you want if you want, or if you've already got some in there, as long as they're all set up with the resistors. Ah, okay. Have you typed in the code yet, Lewis?
Sorry, CJ, is this the same code as last month? Because I can post the link to the GitHub if it's exactly the same.
I don't know if it's exactly the same. There might be.
Okay, I won't post it.
Pins. Just bear with me a minute, Lewis. Only one of yours is lighting up. Okay, I'll just go through that. We'll come back to you if that's okay, Lewis. So if we can get our Uno app on the computer opened up as well. And we just check that our board is set up. So on tools, if you just a recap, if you want to go through this, we go to tools at the top. And down, we can see that port is there and board. We need to check that our board is set to the Arduino Uno board. My computer's freezing a bit. It's a bit blue. Cool. And if we get a complete new sketch, so if we make sure it's fully blank and it doesn't even say any of the void setup or void loops, just have a completely blank sketch, so you can delete it. Usually when you do a new sketch, it will have already void loop and void setup. If you delete all of that text, because we've got it already in our text that we're going to copy and paste. So make sure it's completely white, completely blank, and then we're going to copy and paste that text that's in the document that Emily sent over. So we're going to copy and paste the whole thing. Make sure you've got the final close bracket at the end. So make sure you copy and paste every single bit. So the open bracket at the beginning. Well, actually, it's just not in it. Yeah. Oh, okay. I might be going too slow for some people. Sorry. Okay. So we've got our close bracket at the end. Copy and paste. Then we tick to verify at the top, and it should say done. Or it should say complete, and it shouldn't report any errors. If it does, just let us know, and we'll come to you. And then once that's all got the heads, we've all got the go for that. We press the arrow next to the tick, and that should upload it to your Arduino board. Okay, Ben's done theirs. Well done. So when it's uploaded, then we're gonna take our all of our conductive pieces, so the one that's connected to our bits of paper, and when we touch them together, this should light up your LEDs with a delay of a couple of seconds between each one, like Emily's doing there. She's made the two contacts between the two bits of conductive tape. They're touching each other, and it's turning the LEDs on and off like that. So that's our complete circuit with two contacts of the conductive tape. Great, nice showing. Yeah.
So maybe Emily, sorry, can you just do that again? And if you're speaking while you're doing it, we'll make sure that you're spotlighted.
I'll keep making lots of noise. There we go. So touching now, and then hopefully off and on.
Brilliant.
I'll try and get
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So nice and clear.
Very, very short cable between my laptop and my Arduino, so hopefully you can still see.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And if you have got a glove, I'm not sure because I can't see anybody's screen. If you do have a glove, it's exactly the same. If you put the glove on and you make the contact if you make the contact with the paper with your glove, it should also do the same thing. It should light up when you touch the bit of paper like this. Emily, Sarah has got.
I was just saying I can see Stuart's is working.
Ah, great. Does Stuart have a glove? No, he's got the paper. Nice. Lovely. Just out of interest, did anybody use a glove in this? If you put a thumbs up for yes. And if not, just don't react in any way.
I saw Rudra waving one at the screen earlier. So
Rudra, yeah.
They've got that code up and running. Hopefully we'll be able to see that. Be cool.
Brill. So for anybody who does have a glove, conceptually this will work better. And if you, with your A4 piece of paper, this is what a handprint, but if to be a bit quicker, if you could draw around your own hand with a coloured bit of pen, just won't take too long now. If you do have a glove now, draw around your own hand, and if the conductive tape is on the hand, and then you touch together with the glove on the hand, and it makes it a bit more stylized, working towards your final kind of artistic project. And you can do this in your own time as well. After this session, you can even do a handprint with paint, or you can draw around your hand. And then when you've got the glove, oh, Stuart's doing it now in the video. Yeah, nice. Brilliant, lovely.
See, Ewan's got a cross. That means you're getting a bit stuck. Do you post how far you've got in the chat? We can help you out if you are stuck at any point. And the code has just updated itself on that link that I posted. It took a while, so if you're struggling, it might be because you used, if you copied it from there, it might have been the old version. So do just redo that.
Thanks, Sarah. I'll give a few minutes. We're in good time, so we'll give a few minutes, and then we'll maybe can do a chat together about any creative ideas people have been having for the July session, or if they want to ask any questions about what they want to make.
I'm quite interested to see how big the pieces of tape can get before it stops working, to see if you could make some really interesting patterns on the glove and see if it still works, or whether it'll be not have enough conductivity if it's too long. Yeah, intrigued to see how it works.
Yes, I've not tried that yet, but that's a good point, because I've got also a bit of the conductive fabric, and that's quite a small piece as well. I've not tried it with bigger. So just get a thumbs up when everybody's copied and pasted that code. Okay. Dave. That should work if they're both, as long as there's a connection between two bits of metal. I've not used a crocodile clip before, but that should sorry, a staple before, but that should work. Yeah, good ingenuity there. Okay, just last couple of seconds, and does anybody want to pop in the chat, or if you do want to come on the screen, or at least with some audio, I can go around the screen to see if anybody has any questions about or want to share what they want to make in the next session. And we can have a little discussion one by one. We could get some ideas bouncing around, or ask any questions if you want to have any ideas from us that we can suggest for your little art project. I'd love to hear if you have been thinking about it. If obviously you do have another month to think as well. So if you haven't, that's okay. But if you would like to share, that'd be great. If you've come up with any ideas.
I can share one.
Yeah.
We're waiting. Well, I've just found the gloves that I have on my desk are my cycling gloves. So I just thought it might be fun to see if I can come up with a way of attaching the Arduino to my bike so that when I grip the handlebars in a certain place, it turns some LEDs on. So I'll turn my bike into a moving piece of artwork.
Oh,
So
lovely.
Might be too complicated, but I am up for a challenge. I'm going to have a go.
That's great. Nice one.
So, yeah, so if anyone's got any suggestions of where might be a good place to put an Arduino on a bike that's not going to be dangerous, then I would love to hear your ideas.
I mean, that would have to be completely remote, wouldn't it? You'd need to build a little box.
Yeah, and stick it on the stem somewhere maybe. Yeah, and all the wires might get a bit dangerous coming out of my gloves. I'd have to tape them to me.
That would be
quite a lot to think about.
A big job, but definitely doable. It would take maybe a bigger job than a small scale project like my recycled jellyfish.
Yeah, I have a bit of regret now.
But it seems that everyone managed to get their handprint version working. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
And then we can start thinking about how we might want to turn on lights elsewhere. And we had a couple of thoughts, Miriam, on the team, of possibly extending the lights to make them on long wires, so the lights themselves are away from the Arduino and away from the breadboard.
Yeah.
So we might have a couple of ideas around that.
We could go through that in July's session as well. And if a great thing would be that if you can, between now and July's session, gather some materials together and we can send out again some ideas as well. I think I did send out the 2 videos. Is that right? I believe of the examples. But if having a think in the next month of different materials you might want to use and also what you want to make and create, you can email to ask questions as well. And then in that session, we'll go through how to make the LEDs longer, so longer wires, how we can connect that so that they are embedded in your little art piece a little bit further away. So it makes it, easier to interact with.
Great. So it might be that we don't need the troubleshooting part that we normally have now, because it was so well done. Everyone did a great job. I'm really impressed.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well done, everyone.
So I think we can all be quite proud of ourselves. And yes, if you have any bright ideas between now and maybe, I don't know, the next week or so, we can have a chat. CJ and Emily and Sophie and the rest of the team can have a bit of a chat about what might be possible and see what kind of other kits, because of course we'll be moving towards the festival in October soon enough. So we want to start this whole thing from scratch again and get a whole new bunch of people doing Glow Your Own coding. So this has been a really good way of experimenting with different ways of coding, different ways of using the materials that the Arduino has in the box, and extending that with this hack that CJ has come up with to find different ways of connecting with technology in a really simple way, but actually a very quite a fun and innovative way. So that's what we want this project to be. So if you can think of any bright ideas or technical hacks that we might try and find ways to do that we can play with in the next couple of months while we're kind of doing it, the Glow Your Own, just with you, our small team, and we might bring that in to the next when we recruit new members of the Glow Your Own public team and build bigger and better and more exciting and more adventurous things. So I think this has been a really good learning curve for everyone. So thanks so much for being involved. But if that's it, we can probably even finish early and enjoy the rest of the sunshine.
Yeah.
And be in touch with nature in a different way. So thanks everyone. It's been really good to see everybody. See you next time.
Everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.